In 1789, France was the richest empire in Europe. 5 years later, the king's head rolled under a guillotine, and 40,000 more followed. In 1917, the Russian Empire ruled 1/6 of the planet. 8 months later, the Tsar and his children were shot in a basement, and 20 million died in the chaos that came next. In 1959, Cuba glittered with casinos and American tourists. 2 years later, Fidel Castro owned everything, and the prisons were full. 3 times in 250 years, superpowers that looked invincible collapsed almost overnight. The people in charge never saw it coming. They partied in palaces while the streets burned. And every single time, the exact same warning signs flashed. Signs that, right now in 2025, are flashing in America. Here's the terrifying part. History doesn't stutter, it follows a script. A 6-stage cycle written in resentment, debt, and blood. France hit every stage. Russia hit every stage. Cuba hit every stage. And today, the United States is not approaching this cycle. We are already in stage 4. If you're 30, 40, watching your rent double, your 401k freeze, your kid's college fund turn into a joke, this pattern is about your money, your house, your future. And once you see the 6 stages, you can't unsee where we are on the clock. A revolution isn't a protest. It isn't angry tweets or a march on Washington. A revolution is when the old system is torn out by the roots and something new, usually something worse, grows in the blood-soaked dirt. Revolutions don't start because people are poor. People have been poor forever. They start when people who expected better wake up and realize the game is rigged forever. When the middle class, doctors, engineers, teachers, you, looks at the life their parents had and knows their kids will have less. When peaceful change feels like a fairy tale and the social contract snaps. John F. Kennedy said it cold. Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. And every single time, the exact same 6 stages play out like clockwork. Stage 1, extreme wealth inequality so obscene it can't be hidden anymore. Stage 2, government corruption and incompetence that protects the rich and screws everyone else. Stage 3, the middle class, the people who keep society running, gets crushed and turns radical. Stage 4, faith in every institution, courts, elections, police, media, dies. Stage 5, a revolutionary movement promises justice and starts winning hearts. Stage 6, the government falls, chaos eats the country alive. 4 is the point of no return. Once a nation hits stage 4, history has never, not once, turned back without fire. And the scariest part, the elites always laugh at stage 4. They're laughing right now. Picture Paris, 1789. Golden carriages roll past starving children fighting over crusts. The top 1.5% own almost half the land and pay 0 taxes. A loaf of bread eats 88% of a worker's daily pay. The king throws masked balls while mothers watch babies die of hunger. Stage 1, then Versailles runs out of money, wars, palaces, bad advice. Louis begs the nobles to pay something. They laugh, block every reform, and tell the peasants to eat cake. Stage 2, lawyers, merchants, the educated middle class, people just like you, realize the system will never let them rise. They lock themselves in a tennis court and swear to write a new constitution. The spark is lit. Stage 3. By summer, nobody believes in the king, the church, or the courts anymore. Parisians storm the Bastille, parade heads on pikes. Faith in every institution is dead. Stage 4. The Jacobins promise to punish the rich and feed the poor. Crowds cheer. The guillotine becomes the new national symbol. Stage 5. The king's head drops. 40,000 follow in 14 months. Robespierre purges, then gets purged. France drowns in its own blood. Stage 6. Fast forward 128 years. St. Petersburg, 1917. The Tsar's palaces gleam while factory children work 16-hour days. Stage 1. Nicholas believes God picked him, so reform is blasphemy. He sends millions to die in a war with no bullets. Bloody Sunday. Troops fire on peaceful marchers begging for bread. Stage 2. Soldiers start shooting officers instead of protesters. The middle class and the army flip. Stage 3. The provisional government promises elections but keeps the war. Nobody believes them anymore. Stage 4. Lenin steps off the sealed train. Peace, Land, bread. 3 words, millions follow. Stage 5, October, one night, the Winter Palace falls, civil war, famine, 10 million dead. The Tsar and his daughters shot in a basement. Stage 6. Now Havana, 1958. Neon lights, Sinatra, mob casinos. But in the countryside, kids die of worms at age 6. American companies and Batista's friends own everything. Stage 1. Batista cancels elections, tortures students, pockets the casino cash. Stage 2. A young lawyer named Fidel says enough. He sails back with 82 men. Only 12 survive the landing. But every village Batista burns creates 100 more rebels. Middle-class kids in Havana join underground cells. Stage 3. The army starts deserting. Washington looks away. Nobody believes in Batista's Cuba anymore. Stage 4. New Year's Day. Batista flees with suitcases of cash. Castro rides into Havana on a tank while crowds roar. Stage 5. Within months, the firing squads work overtime. The revolution executes the revolution. Cuba gets 60 years of prison island poverty. Stage 6. 3 different centuries, 3 different continents, same 6 stages, same blind elites, same ending. And not one of them thought it could happen to them. America, 2025. Stage 1. Extreme wealth inequality. The top 0.1%, about 130,000 households, now hold more wealth than the bottom 90%, 117 million households. That's worse than France on the eve of the guillotine. You see it every day. Private jets, space joyrides, $500 million yachts, while starter homes vanish and rent eats half your paycheck. Your savings lose value every month. Their wealth doubles. The insult is in your face. Stage 2. Government corruption and incompetence. Congress has a 15% approval rating, yet 96% get re-elected. Insider trading is legal for them. Prison for you. $36 trillion in debt, and they still send billions overseas while bridges collapse and trains derail. Both parties serve the same donors. You feel it in your taxes, your crumbling roads, your forever wars that never touch their kids. Stage 3. Middle class crushed and radicalized. You played the game, degree, 60-hour weeks, good credit. Still can't buy the house your parents bought at 25. Student debt is a life sentence. Healthcare wipes out savings in one hospital stay. Millions of teachers, nurses, engineers, veterans, people who believed in the system, now post "eat the rich" memes at night. The people who were supposed to defend the system are done defending it. Stage 4. Loss of faith in every institution. We're here, right now. Trust in media, lowest ever recorded. Trust in courts, split by party like a civil war. Half the country says 2020 was stolen. Half says January 6 was an inside job. Neither side believes the other will accept the next election. Police are filmed kneeling on necks or saluting mobs. Pick your poison. The FBI, CIA, CDC, DOJ, every letter is now a punchline or a conspiracy. When nobody believes in the same facts, the same rules, the same country, the contract is already ashes. Stage 5 hasn't fully arrived, yet. But watch. On one side, growing cheers for nationalizing banks, seizing billionaire assets by any means necessary. On the other, growing cheers for a strong man who locks up the traitors and suspends the rules. Both sides poll higher every month. Both sides say democracy is already dead. Both sides are arming. The moderates are losing the microphone fast. Stage 6 is the part nobody wants to picture, but history forces you to look. France got the guillotine and Napoleon. Russia got civil war and Stalin. Cuba got firing squads and 60 years of chains. America has more guns than people, more debt than any empire ever carried, and more fury than all 3 combined. If Stage 6 comes here, the body count won't be in thousands, it will be in millions. And whatever rises from the smoke won't be the country you grew up in. The pattern is merciless. Once Stage 4 locks in, the fall happens faster than anyone predicts. France, 5 years from palace balls to public beheadings. Russia, 8 months from empire to execution squad. Cuba, 2 years from casinos to communism. We keep telling ourselves we're different, we're richer, we have the Constitution. We have nukes. That's exactly what they told themselves in Paris, St. Petersburg, and Havana. The clock is ticking louder than you think. The match hasn't dropped yet, but the gasoline is poured everywhere. Stage 6 in America won't look like 1789 Paris with pitchforks. It will look like cities on fire while the power grid dies. Supply chains already fragile collapse in a week. Grocery shelves empty. ATMs stop. The dollar you worked your whole life for becomes wallpaper. Some states will say, "We're done with Washington." Others will send troops to stop them. The military will split. Some swear to the flag, some to their people. Foreign powers will pick sides quietly, then loudly. And the people who screamed loudest for revolution will be the first ones begging for order when their own kids can eat. History whispers the same line every time. Revolutions don't deliver justice. They deliver new masters in different uniforms. France wanted liberty, got Napoleon. Russia wanted bread, got Stalin. Cuba wanted dignity, got 60 years of ration books and prison boats. America is bigger, angrier, more armed, and more indebted than all three combined. If we follow the script to the end, the chaos won't last months. It could last decades. And the nation your children inherit might not even have the same name. You still have a mortgage, you still have a family, you still have something to lose. The pattern has never been broken once stage 4 sets in. Never. But it has never faced a generation that actually saw the playbook in advance. The question isn't whether the cycle is real, it is whether we are the first ones in 250 years to rip up the script before the final act, or whether we just sit and watch the curtain fall. The choice is still yours. For now.